Welcome back to another week of Metals, Money, and Markets. We are at August 25th, 2017. With me, as always, Mickey Fulp, the Mercenary, Geologist, and for miningclips.com, I'm Rob Goodman. Well, Mickey, as we button up August here, we have a hurricane to contend with, Hurricane Harvey battering the Gulf Coast. We'll see how that plays out, and certainly some political theater here in the States. Why don't you go ahead and break the metals down for us? Kind of an up and down week.
Yeah, gold range bound, narrowly range bound for the week from 1285 to 1291, which it finished at for a 0.5% gain. Silver bounced around 17 all week, closed at 1705. Platinum lost $6, closed at negative 0.6 for the week. And palladium actually went up to 930 before it finished its weekly low at 920, but still gained $4 over the week.
And buttoning up with copper, the train keeps moving, a great move to the upside here.
It's a big story of the week. It surged on Thursday morning. I was actually watching it as it happened. Minute by minute, it was ticking up, went from 296 to 304 in the space of a couple of hours. Closed the week at a little less than 302 for a 3% gain. But, this is like 7 weeks in a row. Copper's been up in 9 out of the last 10 weeks, I guess, up 18% since mid-June. Lots of reasons for this, but on Thursday, the net specs went really long. LME and COMEX now at $22 billion net long. On Thursday morning, it traded 1.4 million tons of copper. That's 7% of annual mines. So the big boys have poured into the market, and the future curve looks very strong. So we expect this to continue.
Moving on to energy, as mentioned, Hurricane Harvey. We'll see what that does, but both oil and uranium off this week.
Yeah, oil was off more than it finished at. It finished at 47.86, down 1.5% for the week, but it had a pretty good rally on Friday. Lots of things going on in the market, mainly in the U.S. OPEC was pretty quiet for the week. It appears to have gotten its members in line for August with production down about 400,000 barrels after being up over 300,000 barrels in July. Oil and gas inventories in the U.S. were both down. Production was up a bit. This Hurricane Harvey is going to hit the refineries from Houston to Corpus, and that's about 1/3 of the U.S. refining capacity. It's going to hit them hard. We're looking at 15% production hit on refineries, and so gas is going to go up. On the other hand, the rig count fell again by 3, so it appears to at least is stabilized, if not is on slow trickle down. And a bit off topic, but something that I think is important for the future of the petroleum market, and that's that Lithuania received its first shipment of U.S. LNG, liquefied natural gas. So we're now in competition with the Russians to supply the Baltics with LNG, and as a result, Gazprom's already lowered its natural gas prices. Meanwhile, uranium lost 60 cents over the week, down 3% to 2025.
Moving on to the currencies, dollar off, and as expected, the euro and loonie had nice weeks.
Yes, the dollar has continuing weakness. Here's another tidbit for you. Net short speculators in the dollar to the tune of $9 billion right now. The dollar hit its low since January of 2015. And I looked back at my monthly records, and that was the time when it popped 5% in a month. Closed at 92.74, down 0.7% on the week. Meanwhile, the euro bounced up to $1.19. Once again, we haven't seen that level since January of 2015. And the loonie went above 80 cents again, closed at 0.8012.
And finishing up with the markets, we've got I guess a bounce back, you could say. A lot of political theory going on. Break it down.
Yeah, it was kind of a seasonal like volume week as expected. Dow, S&P 500, Nasdaq, all three of those indices at one day or the other had their second or third lowest volumes of the year. Choppy markets all week. They all actually finished up, but most of that game was last day or so. Dow closed at 21,814, up 0.6%. S&P 500 up 18 points to 2443. Nasdaq up 50 points to 6266. I think the thing that's going on in the markets right now is the confab in Jackson Hole, the world's banksters and the people that really control the economy meet there every year. Yellen came out with some very strong comments about support of the economic policies post 2008. She is in direct conflict with Trump on that regard. So I think we're looming Trump-Yellen battle that will be solved in February when a new Fed chairman or reappointment of her as Fed chairman happens. We got a data-heavy week coming up. The week before Labor Day, I think we're still going to see topsy-turvy markets over the next week or so, and volumes won't pick up until likely September after Labor Day.
And of course, as always, last but not least, the venture literally almost flat this week.
Yeah, another ho-hum week. Basically flat, close at 769, off less of a point. But of encouragement is volumes have picked up considerably, average 60 million shares this week as opposed to something like 43 million shares traded 2 or 3 weeks ago. So once again, waiting for Labor Day.
Okay, Mickey, we'll catch up with you next week, and it'll be into September and see how Harvey really impacted things. So have a great weekend.
All right, thanks a lot, Rob.